As a mom, you wear a lot of hats, and sometimes it seems like you're going in a million directions at once. At the 29-Minute Mom, we want to give you the tools to bring it all under control and reach your highest potential. If you give us a few minutes, we'll help you find those extra hours you need every week to achieve balance and satisfaction in everything you're trying to get done. The 29-Minute Mom. It's time just for you. And now, here's your host, life's organization expert, author and coach, Jennifer Ford Berry.
Hi, friends. This is Jennifer, and you are joining me today to begin the very first part of our No More Christmas Clutter series, and I am so excited that you decided to join me. I think that this series can truly be life-changing for your Christmas season, and I'm super excited to share lots of tips and resources and ideas that can bring more peace, joy, and less stress into your holiday season this year. You know, Christmas has kind of gotten out of control. It started with the birth of Jesus to bring us hope into the world and joy and to give us the removal of sin. And it's turned into a crazy commercialized holiday that has gotten us all running around thinking that we had the opposite of what I like to teach is happening in Christmas, where we're told that the more we have, the more we buy, the more presents that are under the tree, the happier we will be. And you know as well as I do that is not what's going to bring us joy during this season. In Ecclesiastes 3:1, it says, "There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under heaven." And I love that verse because this is the season where I just want you to stop. Stop where you are, wherever you're listening right now. Take in a very deep, deep breath. Let it out and say to yourself, you know what? I'm not going to buy into that. This season is going to be different. This season, I am going to appreciate the little things. I'm going to bring God into the everyday moments more. I'm going to be present. Instead of worrying about presents, I'm going to be present. I'm going to look at my kids and soak in the ages that they're at and the things that they're doing right now. I'm going to just appreciate my family and my friends, flaws and all. And I'm going to really be the light in my home, the light in my community, the light in my church, the light in my school, wherever you are. Just be an example this season. I just want to encourage all of you listening, and I'm right there with you, that let's be more of the light in the season this time. Let's have that kind of special something that other people are looking at us and saying, what is that? She's not running around frantically. She's not pulling her hair out and screaming at her kids and worried about last minute shopping. She just has like this vibe of being under control and with just a vibe of peace and joy. And I just wonder what that is about. Like, be that example to people this season. Have them watch you and look at you and wonder, what is your secret? But you will know your secret, right? Your secret is going to be the peace and joy that only God can give us this season. And we need more of that. And we need more of that, not only to remember the true meaning of the season, but also to get through our long to-do list, because that to-do list is still going to be there. We still have to make sure that traditions and activities are taken care of and that gifts are bought or made and we're making cookies with our kids or whatever you do to celebrate. And we're building memories. And that's super, super important, especially for moms, to give that to their children. But in the midst of all that, let's keep the real reason at the forefront of our mind instead of getting lost and ending up stressed out and overwhelmed and tired and unhappy and bitter because we didn't get enough help. And we wish our husbands would do more, or we wish our children would do more, or we wish our family was different, or we wish that, we had more money. Whatever the case is, we're not going to wish. We're going to be content this season. Just try it. I mean, what do we have to lose, really? What do we have to lose? If you try it this way, I'm sure God will bless you in return. There'll be favor upon you this season if you really change your mindset and commit to doing things God's way. Now, the name of the series is called No More Christmas Clutter, and you may be wondering, why am I calling it that? And if you've heard me speak before, you know that clutter comes in all shapes and sizes. I don't think of clutter as just a messy countertop with tchotchkes on it. Clutter can be, debt. Clutter can be baggage from past relationships. Clutter can be the voice in your head that says you're not, your house doesn't look good enough before you have a Christmas party. Clutter can also be too many things in too many places. But really, it also comes down to clutter is anything that gets in the way of what we were put on this earth to do and what God would have us do while we're here on this earth. If there is something in your home, I always say, do you love it or do you use it? If you say no to both those questions, chances are it's clutter. It's just to the point where clutter can almost, especially during this time of year, be anything that gets in between you and God's relationships. And that can be too many things to clean, too many things to buy, too many things to make. It can be anything. So I want you to really be aware this season of the clutter. If something is stealing your space, time, and energy that could be used for something greater, then chances are it may be clutter. And this year, I want you to focus on 4 themes throughout the season. And I'm going to help you in a minute go through how to get prepared for the Christmas season and how to get organized and all those things. But I want you to have this underlying message that Christmas really this year, I think it would be really neat to focus on these 4 main themes in everything you do. Number 1 is building memories. And we all know that the memories are super important when it comes to children, and that as little kids, we have our favorite memories when it comes to Christmas time. So it's super important for us as moms to really build those memories for our families. Number 2 is nurturing relationships, because it's not all about giving of gifts, but giving of our time and even our ears to relationships. I mean, you may not have all the money in the world to give your best friend a Christmas present, but you can surely invite her over for a cup of coffee and just say, how are you? How are you really doing? And really just be listening and nurturing those relationships. And, this time of year, sometimes we see people in our families that we don't see the rest of the year. So it's a special time to really focus on nurturing relationships. Number 3 is enjoying the time of year. Enjoying this time. This time only comes around once a year, and it's going to be gone. And when it's gone, that laundry and the cleaning and the grocery shopping and all that will still be there. But will we look back on the memories and will we say we really enjoyed this time of year? Sometimes it's time in life to just take a deep breath and to relax and to give up all of your stress and cares to God. And this may be a season where you say, you know what, God, I'm starting to get stressed out thinking about this, but I'm just going to give it up to you. I am just going to hand it over. I can't do this without you. And I want to feel your presence with me every single day. I want you to walk beside me this season and show me that your way is an easier way. And I really encourage you to do that. And that brings me to my final 4th theme, which is resting in Jesus. Just knowing that, I encourage you to learn how to rest in Jesus. I will be the first person to admit I'm a complete control freak under construction of Jesus. I am a professional organizer. I like things done in a timely fashion, and I have long lists that never go away, and I'm always working on a project, and I'm always looking to do something new and fun and exciting. And over the years, God has really taught me, for my personality, to understand that I can get more done when I just rest in Him, when I let Him steer the car, Him take the wheel, and I can sit back and relax. And let me tell you, ladies, it is such a different feeling when I do that. And when I catch myself getting caught up in how am I going to get all this done by December, whatever, I can learn to rest in Jesus. And I encourage you to do the same. So today, I want to talk about what you can do to prepare before the holidays. Now, depending on when you listen to this, you may have a couple months, You may have several months, you may have a couple weeks. So we're going to look at this as an ideal situation. And if you don't have as much time as you'd like this year, you can always change it up for next year. But I think it's super important to plan out our season before it arrives. And ideally for me, that usually starts at the beginning of November, but it can start whenever. I mean, everybody's time schedules are different, and there's no right or wrong answer here. So before your season arrives, I want you to sit down with your family and decide on a vision for your holiday season. A vision means if you could paint a picture of what this season would look like, how would you describe that vision? How would you describe it? And put that down on paper. Ask your children, what traditions do you still love? And I say that because just because something was a tradition at one point doesn't mean it has to be a tradition forever. Sometimes traditions are just for a season, as sad as that may be. And I know with my children getting older and turning into teenagers, there's certain seasons and traditions that have gone away, which do make me sad, but we enjoyed them while they were there. So I think it's really important to sit down and say to your children, what traditions do you still love? Write them down. Those are the things that you're going to do. I think that this is a time where you can also search for events in your area that you and your family want to attend, whether it was a tradition in the past or something new you want to look at. Just do a search together and write down ideas. Now, one of the things that I do, it's makes my life a little easier. If I'm searching for events, say online, like on Facebook, if they have an event page, I usually will click interested so that I still keep getting the updated information in my feed, whether or not we go or we don't. But at least I don't forget about the event. But if you're something that you're going to do and there's a set date, now is the time to grab your calendar and plan out your weeks. So all those things that are just a must-have for you and your family, it's time to write down the dates on your calendar now before somebody else takes that time. If you have this, there's a special Christmas festival in your town where you go and get your Christmas tree and it's on December 9th, then I want you to write on your calendar now that event. Because if somebody comes along and says, hey, do you want to do this on December 9th? Or can you help me with this? You can say no because you already have it written down. So this way, all the things that you as a family have decided mean the most to you are going to have a concrete date. And that's what comes first. If there's something that, somebody asks you to do, you can go around those dates and fill it in as you go, but those things are set in stone. I think now is a good time during your family meeting to also discuss more ways you can bring in the real meaning of Christmas into your schedule. Instead of getting just bogged down with all the stuff we have to do, let's be proactive this year and really say, how can we bring God into this season? Whether it be reading the story of Jesus' birth out loud to your kids, finding special ways to celebrate Advent. You can set up a nativity scene or do nativity crafts with your kids. You can give the gift of service with your family. I mean, those are the best gifts to give. One time our kids made Christmas cards out of old Christmas cards from the year before, and they made new ones, and we took them to a nursing home and they passed them out. And that is still one of their favorite memories. You can go caroling in a nursing home. You can ask an elderly neighbor if they need help. You could organize your parents' home for them. You could offer to babysit for your siblings so they can get their wrapping or shopping done. There's so many things you can do to give service to another family member or to a friend that would mean more than probably any gift wrapped in a box. Also, you could even consider how you're going to spread the message. And that could be simply having a spiritual holiday card this year. You could send a package to a person overseas in the military. It doesn't matter what you do, but you want to incorporate some of the true meaning of Christmas into the season before it just goes away and you forgot to do that. Because that happens, let's be honest. Also, during your family meeting, I want you to ask your children for gift ideas. And what you can do is start to write out your list. I think it's really important to, before you start shopping, to come up with a list of who you need to buy for and set a budget. And over the years, I've learned to do this on my phone because I always have my phone with me. So right now I'm using a little app called Gift List Lite, and it's free, and you can just keep everybody on your phone so that you know exactly who you've already purchased for, who you still need to purchase for, and what you've sent. Another great app that I really like for this is called Santa's Bag, and it's the same kind of idea. So go on your phone, do a little search, find out an app that you like, and get organized with your list. You could also do this on a spreadsheet, just an old-fashioned notebook and paper. It doesn't matter, but it's important to keep track of what you've already bought. And it's important, it seems like this is a no-brainer, but I've seen people forget to do this. Keep all the gifts that you've already bought together in one place so that you know where they are and you're not saying, hey, I thought I bought, grandma a sweater and now I can't find it. The other thing is, and this is a big one for me because I like to have as much done before December 1st as I possibly can have, because I like to enjoy making the memories and spending time with people during December and not feeling like a crazy woman. So I shop early. And one of the things I've learned is the less I procrastinate, the more calm I am and the more I enjoy the season. So don't procrastinate. The earlier you start on your holiday to-do list and your holiday shopping, the more you're going to enjoy the moments that matter the most. So the next thing you want to do is when your list is done, you sat down with the kids and your family and you decided on traditions and priorities, is to really come up with a separate list that is just the things that you have to do. It may be sending out Christmas cards. It may be time for wrapping. It may be, baking cookies or planning when to have a cookie exchange, or when you're helping at church or helping at school, whatever. The things that you have to do. That's your little mommy to-do list that has to get done. And it's the best thing you want to do is just do a brain dump it all out onto a list. And that way you can use that list to start planning your time. So if you have even a half hour after dinner on a Tuesday night, you can wrap a few gifts. You don't want to wait until the night before when you're completely overwhelmed and stressed out and dreading wrapping. Just do a little bit at a time, or address a few Christmas cards at a time, or, anything that can just make your life easier and start getting it done now. Another way you can keep organized with that idea is to do a holiday binder. You can just use a 3-ring binder with dividers. Keep your shopping list, your receipts, addresses for cards, recipes, everything you need. And you can just call it your Christmas binder. And that way it gives you a template to use year after year. And it's all in one place. So another thing that I like to do to prepare for the holidays is I like to call it my Pinterest Pantry Prep. And during my Pinterest Pantry Prep, I just spend a few minutes going on Pinterest, picking out a few easy recipes that I would like to make for parties or gatherings. And then I make sure that I write down the ingredients and I go to the store and I stock up on everything that I need for not only that, but also for the typical things that I need on hand so that if people stop by, so maybe cheese and crackers, different drinks, snacks for kids, just stuff that I want to have on hand this time of year. Baking ingredients. So if we decide at the last minute, okay, let's just, it's a snowy night, let's make some cookies, then we have the ingredients. And it's just something that I don't have to worry about during the month of December. I already have my pantry prepped and I have as much bought in, in advance as possible. Now, if you've bought this series, you're lucky because we've included Jennifer Dempsey's Holiday Time recipe book with this series. And I'm telling you, ladies, that makes my life really easy too, because Jennifer has already thought of all easy, quick, delicious recipes that make you look like a rock star in the kitchen, which I need help with. And it's already planned out for you. So you can even use that book to prep your pantry. Super easy, helps you to get a start on the holidays before it happens. And, we're going to go on and on. One more thing you might want to do before it gets here is to take a photo for your holiday cards. We'll get more into holiday cards in the next session, but the holiday cards, for all you have to do right now, if it's early, is to just consider how you're going to do that. Are you going to use a candid photo from the beach over the summer? Are you going to get a photo taken professionally? You need to schedule that now. Are you going to have somebody come over and take one for you? But I want to just preface the holiday cards ideas that are coming up by saying it doesn't have to be perfect. And I want you to remember that for the whole season, okay? And I might say it again and again, but it doesn't have to be perfect. This is not a season to make you feel like you have to be Martha Stewart. I know I'm not Martha Stewart, and guess what? I'm perfectly okay with that. So let the perfection go. Present is the key word, being present this season and being aware enough to realize what is clutter. So if you are to a point where you have too many events on that schedule that you've sat down and planned with the family, make sure that you're going to enjoy them all. Make sure that those things you scheduled don't become clutter. Something you dread, something that stresses you out because you didn't have enough time to do all the things you wanted to do. You crammed too many things in one day. You've put too many people on your gift list. Think about, is there a way to cut that list down? You might have to have some conversations with family members. You might have to be open and honest and say, this year, I'm making my holidays simpler. Look at that list that we have so far and say, is there some Christmas clutter in there? And be honest with yourself. And I'm asking you to do it now because I want you to take control before it's too late and change up your plan now before it's already upon you. You know what? I don't care if you blame me. I'm doing Jennifer Ford Berry's No More Christmas Clutter series. So this year I'm trying something new. It doesn't mean I'm going to stay with it, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm sorry, but I can't buy everybody in the neighborhood a present this year. Obviously I'm exaggerating, but sometimes it's just worth having a conversation and saying, hey, I can't do this year. I'm going to be, trying to keep things simpler. And I just want to end with reminding all of you before you get your head wrapped around this season and how you're going to be different this year. I want to just remind you why we have Christmas. And you can find it in Luke 1, starting with verse 28. Gabrielle appeared to her and said, "Greetings, favored woman, the Lord is with you." Confused and disturbed, Mary tried to think what the angel could mean. "Don't be afraid, Mary," the angel told her, "for you have found favor with God. You will conceive and give birth to a son, and you will name him Jesus. He will be very great and will be called the Son of the Most High. The Lord God will give him the throne of his ancestor David, and he will reign over Israel forever. His kingdom will never end." Mary asked the angel, "How can this happen? I'm a virgin." The angel replied, "The Holy Spirit will come upon you, and the power of the Most High will overshadow you. So the baby to be born will be holy, and he will be called the Son of God." And the most amazing part of Christmas to me, really, is when you think about it, Jesus was born to a virgin. Why? Because Jesus was born without the sin that entered the world through Adam. He was born holy, just as Adam was created sinless. And to me, it just means that, God loved us so much that he decided to give us another chance. Adam, he got caught up in the evil of the world and it changed everything for a long time. But we are so lucky to be living at a time where we have already had Jesus come, be born as a baby, a holy baby, the only human born ever that was without sin. And we are so lucky to live at this point where we can remember that and we can be forgiven for our sins because Jesus was already born. And we need to pass it on to our families, to our children. We need to make sure that our children understand that Christmas isn't about the Target, flyer that comes in the mail so they can circle 500 items. It's not about that. I mean, that's fun, but that's not the true meaning. So let's really take this as a challenge this year to change up Christmas, to get rid of the clutter, to be present, to be an example, to be a light, building memories, nurturing relationships, resting in Jesus. Can you just imagine how different it will be if we really take this seriously and we really get rid of the Christmas clutter? So I encourage you all to start out with your preparations. And I just pray. I pray that this will be a season in your life that will change you forever, that this season will be filled with joy and less stress. And you will feel God moving in your home and moving in your hearts. We'll be back again. Thank you for joining me today.